Okay, in case you missed this during class, I'm going over some problems on writing geometric sequences. We're on page 687. I'm going to do one of the even problems since you guys do the odds. So I'll do problem 2 here. Okay. So we want to find a recursive and an explicit rule for each. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the general rules on the side. A sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. Remember, a sub 1 is your first term, r is your ratio. And this says to find any term, I take my first term and multiply by it my ratio, however many times n is, minus 1. So my first term does not count in the sequence. Every term after that, this will work. Well, for the first term, it would just be whatever the first term is here. So, and then I have f of n equals f of n minus 1 times r. And you have to give your first term, and this only works for terms after the first term. So this is explicit, and this is recursive. Okay. So first, let's find our first term and our ratio. Our first term is here. So a of 1 is 10. My ratio, I take any term and I divide it by the one before it. So my ratio is 3 divided by 10, which is 0.3. See, 10 times 0.3 is 3, 3 times 0.3 is 0.9, 0.9 times 0.3 is 0.27. So that makes sense. Now, explicit is easy. I'll just plug those two numbers in. Remember, you always just plug in the first term and the ratio. The first term and the ratio. Everything else will stay just the way it looks like in the general rule. So here's my explicit. A of n equals 10 times 0.3 to the n minus 1. And my recursive, you need to give your f of 1, which is still 10. And then you write the rest of the rule. F of n is f of n minus 1 times 0.3 for any term after the first term.